In 2001, Olkiluoto in Eurajoki was chosen as the final disposal site of spent nuclear fuel from Teollisuuden Voimas and Fortum's nuclear power plants. Posiva Limited is responsible for the research, development and technical design work related to the final disposal, as well as for building and operating the facility. Posiva's facilities comprise an above-ground encapsulation facility, where the fuel is encapsulated into final disposal canisters, and an underground disposal facility, where the canisters will be disposed of. The disposal tunnels will be excavated at a depth of approximately 420 meters inside the Olkiluoto bedrock. As a result, the fuel will be isolated from organic nature, thus avoiding the effects of changes above ground and in the atmosphere to the disposal facilities. Once the tunnels have been excavated, disposal holes will be drilled into their bottom at 10-meter intervals. Disposal canisters will be deposited into these holes. The spent fuel is sealed into the disposal canisters in the encapsulation plant. The spent fuel is transported from the power plant's interim storages using a massive transport cask. Final disposal begins by lifting the transport cask to the docking station of the spent fuel handling cell, keeping its top end tightly isolated from other facilities. Similarly to the transport cask, the disposable canister is moved to a docking station of its own. Encapsulation begins by opening the isolation lid and removing the inner steel lid of the canister. The fuel assemblies are dried before encapsulation in a drying station that accommodates the same number of assemblies as a single disposal canister. When all 12 assemblies have been moved from the drying station into the canister, the protective cone is lifted away and an atmosphere-changing cap is lowered into place with the inner lid. Before the lid is closed, a vacuum is created in the canister and filled with argon gas. The fuel handling cell is isolated and the canister can be lowered into the canister transfer corridor. The lid is sealed with electron beam welding. The welding equipment, together with the top end of the canister, are located in a vacuum chamber. The welded seam is inspected with several different methods: visual, ultrasonic, and eddy current testing, followed by an X-ray examination. After passing inspection, the canister can be transferred with an automated guided vehicle to the canister lift and the disposal facility, or to the buffer storage inside the encapsulation plant to await final disposal. The transfer of the canister to the disposal facility, located more than 400 meters deep, takes place by lift. The disposal holes drilled into the tunnels are first lined with bentonite buffer blocks. The bentonite prevents the movement of water in the proximity of the canister and protects the canister from slight rock movements. From the lift, the canister is transferred into a disposal hole with a canister transfer and installation vehicle. After the canister has been lowered into the hole, the top end of the hole is also filled with bentonite buffer blocks, and the tunnel is filled with clay blocks and pellets. The filling of the tunnel prevents water from flowing in the tunnels and keeps the buffer material in place. Once the entire disposal tunnel has been filled, a thick concrete plug will be cast at its end. Horizontal placement of the canister is also being investigated as an alternative method. In horizontal placement, the copper canister is installed in a perforated steel canister lined with bentonite clay. These super containers are pushed into the hole and separated from each other with bentonite clay blocks. The repository will be expanded in stages by excavating enough disposal tunnels for approximately 10 years' use at a time. The disposal will continue until all the spent nuclear fuel in the possession of Posiva has been safely disposed of in the Olkiluoto bedrock. After this, all the tunnels and shafts leading there will be closed and the above-ground buildings dismantled.